Welcome to Discussions with Dianna, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. I am your host, Dianna Bolin. Today's guest is the voice in your head, which is also in my head. Although that voice is unique to you and me, that voice is there nonetheless. We could call that voice stream of consciousness. It's composed of an almost endless monologue of opinions, statements, plans, worries, and memories, both good and bad. Some of you may say, I don't hear no voices in my head. And I say, okay, try this. Focus on your breath for 3 minutes. We won't do this right now, but truly, focus on your breath for 3 minutes. Just sit there and see if you can notice your breath. That's all, very simple. You know what I bet? I bet that for the first few seconds, you may feel blissful silence. And then those thoughts intrude. My thoughts, most commonly, I mean, we all have different ones, but are the gonna do's. I'm sitting there for maybe like 30 seconds, and then suddenly those gonna do's start to creep in. When I'm finished with another 2 minutes, I'm gonna do the laundry or whatever. Go in the garden, plant plants, take the dog for a walk. Gonna do, and then, oh, wait a minute. I'm not focusing on my breath. And I'll bet the same thing will happen to you too. So that's what I'm calling the voice in your head. It's that voice that whether it's a gonna do or other things, it's still almost a running monologue going on in your head. For example, some people typically think about the past, some conversation they had where they felt hurt or angry. And maybe they replay it, well, if only I had done this or that. Maybe it's thinking you have no friends. Maybe you didn't get called when you expected to receive that phone call or that text, and it starts to feed on you. Maybe, as many of us do, you feel critical of your aging body. By the way, I'm learning to pat my belly and rub it. Good belly. Because it's with me. What are my choices? Being critical of yourself in any number of ways can bring you down. Being worried about the war or politics, the fate of our country, environmental destruction, negativity. It's terrible. How are you feeling now? Your thoughts are habitual, and they will affect your sense of well-being. Good news, bad news. Why do I say that? Well, there are times when your thoughts are not so intrusive. And these are times you should strive to bring into your life. For example, time in nature. Listening to the birds. Smelling a flower, feeling the sun or breeze. What these events have in common is that you are engaging your sensations of sight, sound, smell, movement, or simply good emotions like joy, satisfaction, love, gratitude, or just being, without judgment. Because the minute you start the judgment, you can be guaranteed you are having thoughts. You can be fully present for just a moment, and that's a moment that you can have for the rest of your life, a moment of peace, and perhaps even happiness. Certainly a moment away from that chatter. The bad news is that these are usually temporary respites from the endless stream of unsettling thoughts that we all have. The good news is that the more you intentionally engage yourself in positive mental experiences, the happier you will be. Research clearly shows this, that spending 5 to 10 minutes generating feelings of satisfaction and joy will change your physiology for the better. I'm going to introduce you to a joy exercise and other activities that will be helpful to you. Now, the key here is you can't simply do it once and say, doesn't work for me. These things work. It's kind of like, well, years and years ago, people didn't brush their teeth, and they were wondering why they fell out. Well, we now know that brushing teeth is a very positive experience for the teeth. Similarly, controlling your mind such that you are spending time in joy will have positive effects for you. You may even find that if you do this practice regularly, you will sleep better, you will be less irritable, you may actually feel happier or less depressed, and lower the incidences of anxiety over time. So what is this joy exercise? I assure you we're not going to be jumping up and down. Those days are past. Think of it as a time, so think of a joy exercise as bringing into yourself, your body, a moment when you were joyful or simply felt satisfaction. Now, no two people are the same. It's not about what you think about. It's about that sensation, that body sensation. Because when you are immersed in sensations, the thinking words in your mind quiet down. Now, you can have bad thoughts, as I mentioned before, but I'm encouraging you to bring in some good thoughts, something joyful, something where there's a felt sense of satisfaction. So, for example, a puppy, or a kitten, or the smell of a baby, or a religious experience, or how you felt after a volunteer experience, a sunrise or a sunset, the wonder of a shooting star, or the beauty of a rainbow that surprises you. Wow. It's kind of like what I'm looking for is a wow or joy. So take a moment, or 2 or 3, and think about what in your past has brought you joy. Or maybe you can just feel joy. Some people are much better at generating emotions in their body than others. This is not a time to make yourself feel bad about how you're doing. That's not the point here. the point here that this is a skill, and it's a skill that you can do. So believe me about that. You can either start with something that you savored in your life or that brought you joy. And remember, feel how you experienced that. Where in your body did you feel it? Most people feel it somewhere at the front of the body. Take a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Feel yourself sitting or lying, reclining or standing, doesn't matter. Feel yourself in space, in the moment. And then begin to feel perhaps a joy about being alive. And what's going to happen most likely is some negative self-talk's going to enter in there. That voice, I'm not doing it well enough. I'm not getting it fast enough. This is about being loving to yourself as you attempt to feel a sense of love and joy in your body. That's it. Take some time. Have some deep belly breaths. You know, whatever comes into your mind, it's not real right now. In fact, you can't show me your mind. You can't show anybody your mind. It's not there. But what is there is you are there. Right in this moment, you are there. You are alive. You are breathing. And even if you have disabilities, you are doing the best you can, and people still love and care about you. And that's the feeling to generate. And you might be noticing a little change in your sense of self right now, a certain lightness. And that's all that this joy exercise is about, is feeling good feelings. Now, I want to suggest that you not, think about, eating a pint of ice cream. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think almost all of us have done that. But the idea is that this is a feeling that doesn't even need a thing. It's something everybody in our audience has experienced at some time. Seek that feeling. Take a deep breath and feel how good it feels to be in this moment. I've heard some people refer to it as being like a mountain. A mountain whose bottom is so firmly planted. Oh, and I know somebody out there is going to go, oh, my bottom is really firmly planted because it's very big. That's not where we're going. Again, stay with the positive, unless that was positive for you. Imagine yourself a mountain. We've been around for a long time, and yet we're still here. We're still upright. The weather, the environment, life has come at us like a bad storm. And we're there. A little more craggly, perhaps, than we used to be, but still there with the changes in time and seasons, upright, stable, steady, solid, good, well-meaning. You feel it yet? Take another deep belly breath. Fill your lungs. And imagine that whatever hardship, you don't even have to imagine actually, whatever hardship you have experienced, it did not last. And even if in this moment you are experiencing hardship, it will not last. And you have a choice. No one can take your joy away. You can choose joy. You can choose to only look at things online that bring you joy. You can choose to spend time with people in places that bring you joy. You can choose to accept things rather than rail against them, because in the process of acceptance, you will find joy and maybe even love. We are in times of division, but that division is unnecessary because we all want to feel safe. We all want to get by. And when you judge, when I judge, it does us no good whatsoever. And I don't mean judging whether you should buy a can of beans or a can of corn. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about negatively judging another for what they believe, how they look, what they said. Choose joy, choose forgiveness, choose gratitude. Oh, you can be unshakable like a mountain. You certainly had enough life experience by now. Now, this idea of working with your mind is something that's been around for a long time. In fact, originally it was yoga, meditation. Those activities have been around for thousands of years. These days, we are very lucky to have a lot of tools available to us, and I want to share one with you, and that is the Insight Timer app. Insight as in looking within, timer as in just a few minutes a day, app on both Apple and Android. It's free. I don't get anything for promoting it. I am not involved in that kind of thing. I've been using the app for probably 5 years, maybe longer. And you can find all kinds of things on the app. For example, you can find music, relaxing music, uplifting music. You can find stories that are read to you to help you fall asleep. You can find meditations on love, growing love within your body, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned the app. You can also find mindfulness training and beautiful music. I mentioned that. There must be 2,000, maybe more, different tracks to listen to for free. So all you have to do is go online, look up Insight Timer, and start using it. It'll also track how many days in a row you've used the timer, how much time you've spent on the app. It's very motivating, or can be. You could also use it again to beat yourself up if you miss a day. That's not the goal. The goal is to understand that there are tools out there to use to get on top of all that chatter in your mind that does nothing to improve the quality of your life. And I want you to have the best life you can. We are in one of the most beautiful places in the United States. It's just my opinion. So why not experience this treasure with an open heart? With a heart that can actually project love to those around you. So I hope that this has been helpful in terms of bringing attention to your self-talk. Nothing to beat yourself up about, because we all do it. But my suggestion is, although you may not be able to stop all that busyness, you can substitute other kinds of experiences like joy, gratitude, happiness, love, just by thinking about them. And there are plenty of sources out there. The Insight Timer is only one of them. And they also have a search function. So if you want to do thinking about love, just type it in the search function on the app. So that's my discussion for today. And I hope that I will see you again next month. This Discussions with Dianna is brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. Special thanks to all of those of you who volunteer here in our community. We could not do it without you. And to the staff here at TV6. May you follow your dreams with passion, persistence, and faith. See you again soon.